Thank you, Jesus. Stuck between being complete and in order. I want to be where you are. I want to be where you are. I want to be where you are. Wherever you go, I'll go. If you won't enter, I won't follow. I want to be where you are. I want to be where you are. And immediately I heard a voice speak back to me. No, daughter, those words sound good, but you don't want to really be next to me. Because the truth is, no flesh can tarry in my sight, but the only thing you give to me is the part you think is all right. And so you keep bits and pieces of your heart and bits and pieces of your mind and bits and pieces of your spirit off in the closet trying to hide it with the monsters and demons, skeletons and bones and dirty clothes you tried to leave behind that no one would see. You figured if you kept the living room clean, nobody would enter into the bedroom. But I am a God who desires to be with my bride and therefore prepare the bed for me. But there's no way for me to lay and conceive with my bride if there's no room for me to get in. Because every time I try to come into the doors, I realize it's mess that I'm stepping in. And I'm not asking you to be perfect. There may be some things in the corner. There may be some things here and there. But I am at least asking you to open the door so I can come in when I'm ready to be there. You want to be where I am and go where I say go and do what I say do. But the problem is if I let you go too far, you'll take your marching orders from you. Instead of flowing and operating in the gifts that I gave to you, in the place that were meant for them to be operating in, you'll find yourself flowing but out of a cistern of sin. And that's why we can have a Jay-Z who has crowds worship and adore him. They worship better at a Jay-Z concert than they do in most of my churches. And I'm trying to figure out, has my name become worthless? But that's not the case at all. The problem is he speaks who he is and he is who he speaks. And so people follow him because signs are following him too. He went from a hard knock life to a hard ride. And now everybody is on the bandwagon. But I can't get nobody to follow some of these ministers and preachers because in them, their pants ain't sagging, but their spirit is. And if you can't create in you a clean heart and renew a steadfast spirit in yourself, then my question is, you raise your hands in church, but when you're at home, you leave me by myself. So, how do you stay between this place, daughter, where I've gifted you with gifts to speak to the masses, but when it's time for you to be educated to yourself, you skip out on your classes. You skip out on the moments where God speaks to your heart and your spirit. Instead, you walk away and say, my favorite show is on, Lord. I ain't trying to hear it. Grey's Anatomy has plenty of doctors, but there's no doctor to work on you, so you continue bleeding on those who are around you. So instead of lifting up clean hands and having a pure heart, you spew out a filthy spirit and wonder why the people in the pews are looking back at you like something is wrong. It is because the very prevailing spirit that you're spitting from out between your ribs, the breath that you're breathing, is one what some would say halitosis. Baby, your breath is bad. Haven't cleaned it, haven't brushed it, haven't taken the time to love on you or it. So in that process, what shall I do? I gave Isaiah Coles from my altar. I I suggest you take it as a breath mint for you. And so I asked God, what is it that I must do? Because I realize we talk about spirits. We talk about the signs and the wonders of the enemy and how he is a liar and the truth isn't in him. But many of us stand at the church doors and usher him in because we look so much like the residue of where we've been that we can't recognize the disguise he wears to be that wolf in sheep's clothing. So where are we now? And God, what do I do? And I know some of you might be offended, but let me just tell you, I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. Because if I am going to do the things God said I must do, I must be the first partaker. I must be the first to listen to the words when he said, if any man desire to follow me, he must deny himself, pick up his cross, and follow me. So God, first I deny myself, that my flesh will not stand in the way of what you would have me do, be, or say. Father, I deny everything about who I am. If it means that I put that hellacious saying down, oh, I'm just doing me. That's the problem with so many of us now. You doing you, but you ain't doing the king. And if I could say anything, I must be a child about my Father's business. And if I'm about his business, then I must be his witness. But am I witness to what I'm doing or what the Father has said? So I deny me and I pick up my cross. So what does that mean? The reason why I must carry it over my shoulders is because there are times I must plant it in the ground, make sure in my faith I am sound, climb back on it and be crucified with him. For in 2 Corinthians 5 and 14 through 15, he said this thing, if he died for all, then all are dead, that them who he has died for can no longer live for themselves, but live for him who died for them and rose again. So God, I understand if I deny myself, pick up my cross, I haven't died if I can follow you. So just like he rose, I rose. Like he rose out of rubber with capes on their back. And I've come through to fly through atmospheres, telling the enemy that I will not settle for that. You do not get to play in my pews. You do not get to play in our pulpits anymore. You do not get to stand behind our instruments and yield them to be instruments of sin. I stand up for righteousness. I stand up for within these church walls. My house shall be a house of prayer and not a den of thieves. And many of you, I spit to your roof, for you will no longer just produce fig leaves. The devil is a liar. His spirit is true. And if his spirit is what he said it is, then he's seeking to be with you. So Father, no longer will I let you stay at the door waiting for you to come in. God, the door is already open. And as a matter of fact, I left a key under the mat just in case I stepped out for a minute. And when I get back, because you know, Lord, I got a tendency to let my mind drift just a little bit. But when I get back, let me find you walking through every room. No door is hidden. Nothing is under covers. Nothing is under sheets. Nothing is behind closed doors, so that I can have a secret shrine to me. Jesus. And Lord, while I'm telling my secrets, there's a little box under my bed with my special toys. No longer will I commit spiritual masturbation so I can feel good about who I am. I'll stop feeling on myself so that I could feel on you. Because in the spiritual place of spiritual masturbation, I can't feel on me, have a woman carry seed plus produce seed to carry. So that means I've got to let go of me and find you. Your seed, my womb. From the cross, from your body, you gave up the ghost But when you gave it up, you sent it down. So freely I receive. I lift up my hands and I said, Lord, with every gift that you've given to me, I put them down because I understand I have these things and I may be complete. But Father, I got to be real. I need you to put some order back in me. God bless you.